So, moving on to Castlevania Nocturne. Have you seen it?
Oh,
Yeah, specifically season two. Um,
I'm watching it tonight.
yeah.
I'm watching it tonight.
So, Castlevania Nocturne season two is one of the best animated seasons of a show ever created. From the animation
Ooh.
to the writing and the acting, it is just a level up from the first season in so many ways. Like, everybody, please watch this so we can get more. I'm not going to spoil anything. And we'll probably talk spoilers next episode when you watch it. But
Definitely.
the way Richter uses speaker magic to fight makes me wonder why don't waterbenders from Avatar fight like this? Like covering their limbs with ice and kicking and punching, like you saw that in the finale of the first season. But now that he
Mm,
just has it, he's just out here throwing hands, and it's fire, literally. It's so good.
love to see
On
it.
the other hand, while Net's story in this is even better than it was in the first season, I feel like she doesn't get to do nearly as much cool stuff with her earthbending, which
Yeah.
she's basically just an earthbender, but she doesn't get to use it. I feel like in as creative ways that Richter does with his abilities. Like she still has some fun
Mm-hmm.
fight scenes, but it's just not as creative as I feel like it could be with the power she has. Especially comparing it to something like Avatar, where people with the same powers do really cool stuff. Whereas, like in comparison to Avatar with Richter, he's doing even cooler stuff with abilities that characters in Avatar have. Um, yeah, the animation, all the action. There's so much action, and it's so good. Like, there's way more action in
Ooh.
this season than I think all like any individual season of the Castlevania cartoons so far. There's a lot of action, and it's
Really?
and it's all really good. And like yeah, the way they mix in this like what is it kind of like African mythology with Annette story is really cool. Um
Mm-hmm.
and again, no spoilers, but it felt like this was the end of these characters. Like they were gonna move on to the next Belmont or something, or like you've played the games like to John Morris or something like that. But
Right, right, right.
in the finale, they lingered longer than I was expecting them to, and made it very clear like no, there are plot lines left unfinished, and there's
Mm-hmm.
probably gonna be a season three, at least one more season in Nocturne. Um, so yeah, I'm excited to see where
I
this
hope so.
goes. Um,
Yeah.
without being specific, some things happen and like references
Uh-huh.
happen that make it seem like that maybe, and it makes sense based on the fact that they jump straight to Richter and Symphony of the Night because that's the most popular game. That the
Yep.
next game that they like adapt will probably be, I forget what they call it, the one with Soma Cruz.
Oh,
It's heavily
Aria
implied,
of Sorrow.
yeah, it's heavily implied that those two games are going to be the ones that they adapt next.
Ooh, I'm excited. I actually okay. So hot take, right? Of the GBA trilogy, like of Castlevania games, there's Circle of the Moon, Harmony of Dissonance, and Aria of Sorrow, right? And Circle of the Moon is very like people like it a lot, but it's not canon, so it doesn't really matter. I didn't enjoy it. Uh, Harmony of Dissonance is like the black sheep of the family, but Aria of Sorrow is like universally loved, and I'm really really excited to see what they do with Soma because my one gripe with Aria of Sorrow while I was playing it was that like he wasn't expanded upon enough. It's like they just drop us into this like future world of Castlevania, and it's like we don't learn that much about Soma or like what he's got going on. And of course, there's like the opening game text crawl, but I want to know more. So I hope that if they do Aria of Sorrow next, that we get a lot more backstory on Soma besides the surface level stuff.
Yeah, but spoiler alert for those games for people who don't know. But like, um, I think that instead of making Soma like a reincarnation of Dracula, that they might make Soma Alucard's like child,
Makes sense.
like a descendant of Alucard.
Yeah.
I think,
Honestly, I feel like that would make more sense than how.
or
Yeah.
actually, at the end of
Or
Castlevania, Dracula and I forget Alucard's mother's
Lisa.
name. Yeah, and Lisa Tepish are like still alive. Maybe it's just instead of being like a reincarnation, it is just a child, a descendant of theirs that because they had like another child.
That'd be crazy.
That would be insane if they just had another child and this is just a descendant of that person.
Right.
That would honestly be even cooler.
I think so, yeah. And it would make sense because again, spoilers for Aria of Sorrow, you get followed around by Alucard in during the game.
Going by
It's
Aricardo, which is
right, which
hilarious.
is very him. I mean, his given name is like
Adrian.
his father's name
Oh,
backwards.
I was just saying.
I like
He could have
Adrian
just,
Fahrenheit
yeah.
Tepish
So
though is a crazy
he
name.
could have just went by his real name.
Yeah, yeah. But Adrian is lame.
I
I
like
feel like
Adrian.
if
Adrian's a
I
good name. I like
but
Adrian.
if I'm like
I
the
call him
son of
Adrian every time he
Dracula.
shows up. Every time he shows up in the show, I go, "Look, it's baby boy Adrian, sweet baby
It's
boy."
Adrian. I feel like if I'm trying to stop my father from killing every human on the planet, right? No one's gonna take me seriously if I call myself Adrian. So I understand the Alucard name, but he could have picked a cooler name instead. Like it's very like 16-year-old rebel to me, which I enjoy. It's very that is very Adrian, but it's funny. It's just funny.
Yeah, Juiced, your boy, he gets a lot more in
Yeah.
this season. So,
Yes.
but yeah,
Maybe it'll make more people play Harmony of Dissonance and
yeah,
like it because it's a good game.
yeah.